Hi, welcome to Enter the Bunker, where we launch you into thriving. Each week we talk about a different virtue that can be used as a building brick to build your own personal bunkers. We share personal stories, as well as tips and tricks to help you thrive instead of survive. So sit down, relax, and enter the bunker.
I love Wonder Bars.
Do you?
Yeah.
They're like the chewiness inside, isn't there?
Yeah.
Wonder Bars? Yeah, I
It's
don't
got a
think I've
chewy,
ever,
crunchy kind of thing.
like peanut buttery. No, butter.
There's a hint of
I'm
peanut
thinking
butter.
of Butterfingers is what
Yeah.
I'm thinking of.
Yeah, that's Butterfingers.
Yeah.
But those aren't chewy either. Those are crunchy.
Yeah, I'm not a huge chocolate bar girl, so
Yeah.
I wouldn't know. Anyways, those are all the different types of wonder. And then there's
Those aren't all of them. It's just all we can think of.
and then there is wonder in general.
Wonder
When
in
you
general.
When you use your brain to wonder
You don't use your brain to wonder. Wonder comes from the heart.
from the mind.
No. You say it comes from the mind. I say it comes from the heart. Okay, let's see. I mean, maybe we're both wrong.
Yeah.
Maybe it comes from something else.
Where do you think wonder comes from? So when you wonder about something, you want to learn more.
That's right.
That's why you're wondering.
That's right.
So just every day you could think of something and that's wonder. So you're using your brain.
No. No.
Okay. What do you mean? Yes, because you're wondering, you're thinking.
If you're wondering about something, you want to learn more. It's because it's something that comes from someplace else, right? If it was okay, so do you think that animals have wonder?
I think they have curiosity.
Do you think they have curiosity, or does it look like curiosity?
Well, when I talk to the dogs I've been looking after lately, and then they turn their heads like, huh? I feel like that's curiosity.
Okay.
Maybe it's wonder.
No, I don't think it's wonder. I don't think it's wonder.
So you don't think animals have wonder?
No.
No.
And you got to be. I mean, like, when you think about wonder, the thing about wonder is that it's something that it really compels us. Like, in terms of like when we have wonder about something, it's because it's something that's just like so amazing that it gives us a sense of just amazement. You know, like we feel like how to describe it? Okay, there was this one time when I was playing baseball.
Ooh, baseball.
And I'm not much of I guess I like baseball.
Yeah.
I played enough of it, I guess, in my lifetime, but nothing like serious. But I was playing for this, there was this church team
Yep.
that was going on. And so I decided to join in on it. And I can still remember there was this one time that I got up to bat and I just belted it right out of the park.
Home run.
Yeah, it was a total home
Were
run.
the bases loaded?
The bases were loaded.
Grand slam.
It's huge, yeah. So it was just like it was just amazing the way that I just hit it and whacked. And I can remember that when that happened,
Yeah.
there was such a sense of just awe and ecstasy and excitement
Yeah.
as I was running the bases. Like, I could remember there was just the hugest grin on my face
Right.
that I couldn't take away. And that to me was wonder, because like just the amazement of that moment.
It's wonder. Were you wondering maybe you could play pro someday?
Yeah, so no, I wasn't thinking, could I play pro? No, of course not. No, it was just, that moment was just, I don't know, it's just the excitement of seeing that happen,
Yeah.
right? So, yeah,
Is that wonder?
I feel like it is.
I feel like that's more awe
No,
because you were in awe.
yeah, but it was gratitude. It was grateful awe, which is
Okay.
what wonder is about, right? Like you take back, like, for example, if you're like looking at,
And that would have, what you're saying pretty much the story of this is that came from your heart.
yeah, because, yeah, it came from the heart, didn't come from the head. So if you, for example, at night, you look up at the stars.
Yeah.
I would say that when you do that, that is probably one of the most like wonderful moments that you have inside of a day. Like you look at the stars and you just know that there's like tons of planets and tons of galaxies, and you're just like, you're
Nothing.
awestruck by it all, but you're also grateful because there's just like this huge universe, and you're just like this. Do you see? Do you,
I can
do you
see
get what
how
I mean?
some people would feel grateful. I don't know. I feel like, yeah, I know what you mean. I do, because like we have a camp in northern New Brunswick, and I know a lot of people live in the city, they don't see stars. So when they see them, they're like, wow, like they are amazed. And I see stars every night. We live out in the country, but still going to Galkwalk, that's what we call our camp. The stars there are even 10 times better than living in the country normally. It's just so far north. So when you look up, it's just, I'm still in awe, even though I see stars every night. So I can imagine what somebody coming from the city going north and looking at the stars, or seeing like the aurora borealis, that would be so cool.
Yeah.
Like that would be.
I haven't seen that too often in my lifetime.
No, me either.
But the few times I have seen it, it's been amazing. And yeah, you just have this sense of wonder. So like, it's just like this, it's like awe, but it has a sense of like you have this sense of gratitude. But at the same time, you can do that in every single little thing in your life, then it becomes something that really makes life worth living, you know, like.
But then there's like the basic too, like you wonder why your car's making that noise, because you want to know how to explain it to the mechanic. So that's using your head.
Yeah.
Because you're thinking.
Yeah, you're wondering. Yeah, well, I guess you're thinking, but
Yeah.
But there's also that drive to want to know, right?
Yeah.
If you really didn't have a sense of wonder, then you'd just be like, fix it.
Yeah. Or
Right.
meh.
Yeah, or like, well, whatever.
Yeah.
Right. So these kinds of attitudes are the antithesis of wonder. Wonder is where
Okay.
you're actually like driven to actually like see things and be excited about them,
Right.
and want to actually dive into them, and just, yeah, it's a totally different type of attitude. And when you have that attitude, then everything in life becomes more exciting, and you're able to actually get further into things. So like, let's say somebody's telling a story with you.
Yep.
Right? If you had an attitude of wonder,
Yeah.
would you be really intensely interested in listening to what they're saying?
Yeah.
Or if you had an attitude of the
I don't
opposite
care.
of wonder, they could be telling the story and you probably wouldn't even ask a single question,
Right.
because you really don't care,
Yeah.
right?
Or there's just in the middle where maybe your brain's so much full of other stuff that you're just like, oh my gosh, I don't know where to put all this information.
Yeah. So that's
That's
then
just
of course
another one.
that's just another one where
Yeah.
you
I think we talked about that a little bit last week with endurance, was it? I don't know. We touched base on something like that, kind of like with priority wise, and it was another building brick that we previously did.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I don't remember which one you're talking
Yeah,
about.
me
too.
either, but
We'll get
it was one of them. Go back and listen. So wonder's like a feeling of a childlike delight.
That's right.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. I think that
Gets you so excited.
think about kids,
Yeah.
about how amazed they are by everything,
Yes,
right?
that's
like
what I think.
they're just like anyone when something happens and they go, wow,
Yeah,
that's wonder. Like
yeah.
that's when it was just like amazing.
that's true. I've never thought of wonder like that. I've always thought it like definitely using your brain. I was somewhere on the weekend and there was a little girl. I think she was around. Oh, she'll be 3 in October, and every plane that went by, the plane, like she was just in awe for every single plane. And the adults, even the older kids, like by a certain age, brought me back to like when my kids were young, how much wonder and how much awe they were in when they would see a plane. But now as adults, you just drown out that background sound and you don't take the chance to wonder.
Well, yeah, and I think that it also, the thing is that wonder is also something that I think you can consider scarce. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's like you only have so many opportunities in life to actually have wonder.
Right.
Because, like the plane, for example, when you were a kid,
Yeah.
right? Eventually, the wonder of that just fades away.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And you don't, like, every time you see a plane, you don't go, look at the plane. You know, like, imagine if you got older and you actually did
got
that.
that
Like,
excited.
right?
I actually get that excited sometimes when planes are out here, like, or the helicopters. When you hear a big one, you're like, oh, what's that one?
Yeah. Well, around here,
Yeah,
like,
it's a bit
especially when you see something like a Hercules carrier coming around here, you're just like, whoa, right?
I'm in wow for that.
Yeah, that is wowing. But I mean, like, there's only so many opportunities, which means that wonder is something that's scarce.
Yes.
So going through life, you only have so much that you could actually experience. So you got a choice. You either are going to have a sense of wonder in everything you do and actually be able to build that building brick in your life, or you do the opposite, and then you end up just having a really sour life, like, where everything's kind of like, I don't care.
Day by day,
Yeah.
constant routine, never changes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I think that because of that, you really want to focus on the opportunities whenever they come up, right? And put yourself in situations where you can actually take in the wonder of everything around you.
Yeah.
Right?
Do you think wonder is the beginning of wisdom?
Wonder the beginning of wisdom?
Yeah.
Yes. I think that wonder, if you don't have wonder, you can't
have wisdom.
Yeah, you can't begin to take in it. Like, with wonder, you get excited about things, and so then you build an intrinsic interest in whatever it is.
Yeah.
So then that allows you to actually want to continue to explore and continue to get into whatever it is that interests you. And if you don't do that, then you don't have a chance to be able to actually gain wisdom from whatever comes from that.
So someone who lacks wonder would lack wisdom. They would lack endurance. Probably any building brick they would lack, because you got to wonder, I feel like, to get to do any of the building bricks that we've done.
Yeah.
You wonder about love, wonder about endurance. What are some of the other ones we did? Creativity.
Yep.
I'm trying to think of all the ones that we've did. We've done lots.
It's going to take a while.
Yeah. I've never thought of it that way. I've always thought of the basic, like when you say, I wonder if my kid's going to wear a red shirt or a blue shirt today. And, like, that's what I thought wonder was, but it's so much more than that.
Yeah, it's way bigger.
Yeah, way bigger. So you mentioned at the beginning, looking at the stars.
Yeah.
That, like, induces a very high sense of wonder for you. What are some other places that can do that for some people? Are, like, going to the beach, going for a drive?
Yeah, I think going to the beach is a really, like, if you have an opportunity to do that, it's something about the sound of the water, I think, is the most.
And yeah, like, actually, I can name a point right now. So we went to the beach 2 weekends ago, and we were swimming, and I went out, like, deeper than what I could walk or whatever. I can swim pretty good, but the waves were crashing in pretty good, and I was swimming with the waves, so the waves would come, and I'd be like, and go like this, and just looking out on the ocean and listening to the waves and just seeing nothing but ocean. And I was like, wow, at that moment. I'm like, this is, like, so calming. It's so, I don't know. I had a very strong sense of wonder at that point, though.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very vividly, and only because it happened so recently too.
Yeah.
But.
And maybe that's why people, I mean, that's your experience at the beach, and lots of people have different experiences, but it's putting yourself in a place like that to be able to encourage that to happen, right?
Yeah. So going for a walk in the woods.
Walk in the woods is a good one.
Yeah. I agree, because, wow, I've never actually thought of wonder so much. It's really opening my head, because even, like,
your heart.
My heart, yes, my heart. We just talked about this. Like, going for the walk in the woods, like seeing a different type of bird.
Yep.
Or maybe singing a nice melody, or the size of a tree, and you're wondering how old that tree is. And I wonder where this leaf came from. What type of plant is that? Like,
I'm sure that's why my son loves to go into the woods.
Yeah.
He goes crazy. Like, if you take him into the woods, it's like he's, like, finally in his own world, and he's just looking at everything and taking it all in, and just enjoying it, right? And you can tell, right? And so I think that's why, like, because in the woods there's just so many things to see and discover, and you just get this sense of, like, wow, so what's this, and he's like that. He loves to be able to, like, just anything in nature. And I think that,
is he hands-on when he's out there, like?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Picking up this, touching that.
If there's any kind of insect that's crawling on the ground, he has to go and grab it and just look at it and everything else, right? So that's
I
what it is.
often, like when I'm out in nature, a lot of the times I'll often, like in the woods, I guess, think of like people back in the day, like how they would survive and like birch bark, because they would start trees or start fires with birch bark because it lights up, or birch trees. I think a lot of people used to build canoes out of it and all that sort of thing. So yeah, the woods I think would be a great place to experience wonder.
Yeah, there's lots of opportunities to find
Where
wonder.
else do you think?
Well, more modern version, I guess, is go for a drive.
Yeah, go for a drive.
And I can tell you right now, like I do that a lot. Like we do that as a family a lot, actually. And it's just like we like to go places.
Yeah.
You know, and just be able to like, oftentimes we'll just like take off on roads we've never been down.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so then of course you're going to be like, what's down here?
Yeah.
You know. So then, and then oftentimes you just because you're out there, you also catch things, you know, that are happening, just as you're coming by, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, there's lots of opportunities to go for a drive and discover new things and just take in everything around you.
Yeah.
Right. And again, it has to do with the attitude, right? So if you're going along and you're just listening to music and not really paying attention,
right, you're not
there
experiencing the moment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the big picture. I'm trying to think of where else you could go to experience wonder. I guess it would be different for everybody, but I don't know. What about just like reading materials?
So when you're reading, what's happening is that you're actually going into, you're diving into whatever the story might be.
Yeah.
Now it depends on the kind of reading you're doing, right?
Yes,
so if you're reading something like
National Geographic is what I'm thinking. Like
National Geographic would be the equivalent to going for a drive. Only in the article, right? So it's just taking you someplace, and you can just take in just something amazing about what's happening in the world, right? So it's another part of the world with National Geographic, obviously.
I remember growing up, my mom, I'm pretty sure, had every National Geographic magazine, and it was all different animals on the front. And I just remember going through those as a kid. Like, I don't remember why, but it was just to look at the pictures. And I don't even think I could read at that point. I don't remember how old I even was, but I just remember going through it and just being in awe of all the pictures and the animals all over the world and what kind of habitats they lived in and all that stuff.
That's wonder. And so, of course, the more you do to appreciate your wonder, the more life becomes worth living, right? It becomes more exciting.
Yep. So wonder comes from the Old English word wondor, which means marvelous thing, the object of astonishment. For example, Taj Mahal is one of the great wonders of the world, so beautiful and magical.
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 You know what's more magical than Taj Mahal?
What?
Disneyland, of course.
Of course.
It's the magical land.
It's the magical land.
And I definitely think it would be more full of wonder for children than Taj Mahal.
100%. Probably even for me.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You're a Disney girl.
I'm a Disney girl.
You're a Disney girl. Okay. Awesome.
All right. That was episode 1.
What is wonder?
Wonder.
We wonder about wonder.
Thank you for listening to Enter the Bunker. Make sure to follow us on Instagram where you can share your story and also look at behind the scenes of how we make our podcast. You can watch the video version of this podcast on YouTube by simply searching Enter the Bunker. Tune in next time as we launch into thriving.